this is 10 years that the Conjuring universe has been around, and there's a lot of threads that lead to this moment and to this movie, and I'm really I'm excited for people to discover it. I wouldn't want to ruin it, but there's I think there's a lot of fun stuff in there.
Michael, congratulations on The Nun 2. The Conjuring universe is back, and I feel like every sequel in this franchise, in this series, just elevates its predecessor. The Nun 2 is no different. What have Sister Irene and Maurice been up to since the last time we saw them?
It's 5 years since the last film, and if you saw the last film, they thought they defeated Valak, but we realized that in fact Valak escaped. That's one of the last little teases that we gave away in the last film. In this film, it is 5 years since that moment, and Irene is living the quiet life. She is living in this convent in Italy and very happy to be living a very anonymous life. No one knows about her adventures, but even though she doesn't want to kind of tell her story, the legend of the previous film has basically spread through the convents. And you got to imagine it's like this kind of legendary nun who has killed a demon. So she's trying to escape that. She's living this kind of this quiet, like Rambo life of hiding. And meanwhile, Maurice, who, if you've seen the previous film, spoiler alert, he's got Valak inside of him. Valak has escaped within Maurice. And Maurice is now living and working in this boarding school in the south of France, in Aix-en-Provence. And he's looks like, you know, if you didn't know he was possessed, it looks like a otherwise happy life for him. He's settling down, and you could see like a friendship with one of the young girls, a flirtation with one of the teachers who works there. And but I think anyone who knows or saw the previous film knows that something terrible is coming.
Valak is also back and as terrifying as ever. How does the Nun 2 build upon the horror elements from the first film?
I think that the Nun is such an iconic villain. I think that was one of the things that when I first started talking to New Line about it, I love the Nun. I love what James created with Bonnie, and Bonnie's such an amazing actress, and she really gets this character, and she really is she's so scary. In terms of the, you know, her powers and her how we built a lot of the scares, I felt like from the very beginning, from Conjuring 2, there was a very unique visual quality to how she would manifest. She's even kind of different than Bathsheba. If you look at, you know, the difference between Conjuring 1 to Conjuring 2, she kind of brings a different kind of filmic language with her that is very cinematic and very cool. And it's funny because I thought it was actually a really great pairing with France, because, you know, in France, like art is like so celebrated, and people will actually like basically like make faces out of street art. Like if you see like a manhole cover and there's like two holes, they'll like draw like a smiley face or draw like a face. And there's something about like the seeing faces in the environment and seeing just figures in the environment that I thought was like, it's so unique to France. And then I was like, there's something kind of very interesting about, like, you think of the nun painting in Conjuring 2, and so much of that, the artistry in how she manifests and her language. And I just thought this was such a unique pairing. And so that's one of the ideas that we started exploring is how can she just manifest herself in the environment. And, you know, there's Irene is tracking Valak down. She's moving across Europe, trying to find her. And even within the school, there's all of these, and I won't give anything away, but there's these different manifestations where she kind of takes form.
I love the Conjuring universe. Does the Nun 2 lead directly into the Conjuring 4?
No comment. I don't know. You know, you have to see the movie. I think that there is, because I wouldn't want to give anything away if there was anything in there that teased anything. I would love that as a fan, and I would just encourage fans to discover it if it existed in there. But I think that there is, the movie is filled with, you know, this is 10 years that the Conjuring universe has been around, and there's a lot of threads that lead to this moment and to this movie, and I'm really I'm excited for people to discover it. I wouldn't want to ruin it, but there's I think there's a lot of fun stuff in there.
The horror in this movie is definitely elevated. It is phenomenal. Look, I have one last question for you. I saw Peter Safran last night, and I know that he's co-running the DC universe with James Gunn. Now, James Wan and David F. Sandberg have come from the Conjuring universe. Is there a character in the DCU that you'd like to put your stamp on at all?
I love comic book movies. I gotta also say I love horror movies. Maybe there is a hybrid of that somehow, but I just feel like at this moment, I feel so blessed and lucky to be working in the horror space and working within the Conjuring universe. And I'm grateful for this moment now. It's like you gotta just appreciate, where you are.
Roses.
Exactly.
Well, look, thank you so much. I love The Nun 2. It is phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care.